I, Dr. Hitesh Karan, Professor at Sojatwala Pharmacy College, Mehsana, Gujarat, extend to you very warm welcome on behalf of Sojatwala Pharmacy College in this online webinar sponsored by Gujarat State Pharmacy Council, Ahmedabad, and with Association of IDP Education, who is the now owner of IELTS or IELTS, and organized by Sojatwala Pharmacy College, Mehsana, and Niti Diagnostic Mehsana. As you know, our culture, we start the program with the prayer. So the praying at the beginning of any program is the great way of reminding ourselves that God is with us, and that is He is at the center of everything we do. So by continuing this tradition, I continue with the sloka, which is very familiar. शिवक्कतुण्ड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि संप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा. Now, just I give the brief about the today's webinar. The topic, all you know, that is post-COVID updates and study opportunities abroad and the process detail for pharmacy students. And there are the various key points to be covered in this webinar. That points are current updates from educational institution abroad, ongoing admission process and admission criteria, intake guidelines, test requirement as per the foreign institutions, popular pharmacy oriented courses abroad like Australia, USA, Canada, UK, Ireland, New Zealand, post study work opportunity, then exam guidelines, IELTS exam guidelines, and the frequently asked question, that is the discussion with the destination experts. So today we have the 5 destination experts. Just I narrate their name. Mamta Mall, Branch Manager, IDP Education, Ahmedabad. Shalvi Bhatt, Assistant Manager, Australia with the IDP Education. Suhasini Ranganathan, Assistant Manager, USA. Ezaz Sojatwala, Senior Counsellor, Canada. Mohit Patel, Counsellor, UK. These all are with us in this webinar. And our main speaker, Nasekat Bhomik sir, who is the brand marketing and communication expert and have a more than 13-year experience about this foreign education. Now, I would like to call upon our respected Dr. C.N. Patel sir. Presently, he is working as a principal and professor in Sojatwala Pharmacy College, Mehsana. Sir has vast academic and research experience, almost 28 years, and in his credit, he has published 218 research paper, 213 paper presentation. He has guided more than 25 PhD students and 42 M.Pharm students. Sir is Dean in the Faculty of Pharmacy and member of Board of Governors, Gujarat Technological University, Ahmedabad. Sir is a member of Gujarat State Pharmacy Council, Pharmacy Council of India, which is called as PCI, and All India Board of Pharmaceutical Education, as well as All India Council for Technical Education, which is called as AICTE. Sir had been awarded as a Best Research Award, Guide Award in a Pharmaceutical Chemistry at the R.V. Patel State Level Competition for the Best M.Pharm thesis organized by LM College of Pharmacy, Ahmedabad, and sponsored by the Troika Pharmaceuticals Limited, and got the prize amount 25,000. Sir is nominated Best NSS Officer at North Gujarat University level and recommended for Indira Gandhi National NSS Award. Sir had been awarded the Best Teacher Award by Association of Pharmacy Professional during Indo-West Indies International Conference. So this is about the brief of Dr. C.N. Patel. So I would like to request Dr. C.N. Patel sir to introduce our speaker and to deliver the welcome address.
Namaskar. Thank you, Dr. Karen, giving a
Namaskar,
nice
sir.
brief about me. It's a good occasion because always we are thinking about or for the interest of the students. This is also a cause we are thinking about the what is the betterment for the students, whether in our nation or abroad. Future career, they are always worried about. So jointly with the Sarojini Pharmacy College SSPC, Niti Diagnostic and Pathology Laboratory run by Prithviraj and Gujarat State Pharmacy Council. So the joint venture, we are organizing this a good webinar. And this webinar, I cordially welcome the main speaker, Sri Saiket Bhaumik sir, a
Thank you, sir.
brand marketing and communication expert with 13 years of experience in dealing with the products and services. Currently involved with the IDP education, guiding students who aspire to take up a further education in leading foreign universities in different countries like Australia, USA, Canada, UK countries, Europe countries, Ireland, New Zealand, etc. And fortunately, we are having office bearers of the IDP from different countries. So Sri Mamta ji, branch manager from Ahmedabad, Gujarat. So Sri Shalvi Bhatt from Australia, she is assistant manager there. So Sri Suhasini Ranganathan, assistant manager USA. Sri Ezaz Sojatwala, senior counselor Canada. Mohit Patel ji, counselor UK. So this is the learned dignitaries are with us. So it will be naturally go to the benefit to the students. Always the students are in confused, but in the tough situation of the COVID pandemic, starting from the home to the Vaishvik Mahasatta, all are in trouble. They have all suffered a lot. Most of all the houses, they have lost their patron, main earning person, a young person who is the pillar of the house. And in this situation, they have suffered financial position. So in this situation, what could be the best for education, further education in the country and the foreign countries? So I would like to say it will be more beneficial for the students who are participating in this seminar. I also welcome all participants in this webinar. They will be benefited for the educational institutions abroad, which kind of institutions are there, what are the ranking, in which course, diploma, degree, post degree are more beneficial by having this education in this course, what could be the citizenship or PR card. So all are linked together. So the best guidance for which course can be selected will be given, I think. Ongoing admission process, there are every day changes are there. What are the latest update in the process of the admission in the foreign countries? Test requirements day by day changing, so the guidance will be given regarding this. For pharmacy oriented courses in abroad, in different countries, they are different registered pharmacies, technician pharmacies, which are the tests, which are the precautions are required, will be also helpful. Post study work opportunities, different test for the English and the admission, IELTS test, everything will be also guided by the learned speakers. And finally, the question answer will help to gain the knowledge of all the participants. Only one person asking question, but answer from the speaker will be helpful to the total august audience. So I think it will be very beneficial for all the. I would like to say something about our college, Sarojini Pharmacy College, started in 1998 and located at the core of the Mehsana city in North Gujarat. It is affiliated with Gujarat Technological University, approved by the Pharmacy Council of India, as well as the All India Council for Technical Education. And being affiliated with the GTU is more beneficial because under the umbrella of the GTU, we are getting number of industries for placement. Every year in the campus of the GTU, we are organizing, I myself also Dean of the Faculty of Pharmacy in GTU, about 70-80 industries like Cadila, Sun Pharma, Amneal, Bharat Parenteral, MCure, Sun Pharma like are coming there and selecting our diploma, degree, master degree, PharmD students. Due to the GTU affiliation, every year students are visiting the foreign countries and studying their two subjects, staying there about 2 months, about 50 days. For example, pharmacy students are going every year the Lawrence University, Canada, staying there 50 days and studying two subjects, one from the 7th semester and one from the semester 8. And the marks are given by the foreign faculty. They are carry forwarded here and they are taken in the mark sheet. And these two subjects they have not to study here in the GTU. So this is covered in the foreign university. So it is the mutual understanding by the GTU, and this is the benefit given to students. GTU have making the liaison with the several industry zones, MOU with the industry people of the Vatva, Ankleshwar, Chhatral, Mehsana, those different industry zones. So few people from the industry and few academicians are sitting together. We are having MOUs, and this is also beneficial to the students ultimately because they are giving the consultancy program. They are always giving the visit facility to the students, professors. They are giving the projects. The faculty from the industry are coming here to give deliver a best lecture for the interest of the students and faculty, and our senior faculty also guiding or training the industry people. So this is a good liaison between industry and academia, always minimizing gap between industry and academia. So there are a number of benefits are available to the students and faculty of the Surgeon Pharmacy College being affiliated with the GTU. We are having the senior faculty, so we are running here BPharm, MPharm, and the PhD programs. About 40 PhD scholars have completed PhD over here in the college or under the guidance of this faculty, senior faculty of the college. And about more than 16 gold medals in PG and UG, our students have received from GTU and earlier from the M. Chandracharya, North University, Patan. So this is the scenario. I would like to say in few words. Without taking more time, I again welcome all these dignitaries from the IDP from different countries with the Saikat Bhomik, is the Senapati of this webinar, all the participants, all the members of this SSPC, and all the team of the State Pharmacy Council. I welcome them, and I also appreciate the efforts made by these all three institutes for giving best opportunity to the students. Thank you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your kind words. I welcome to Suhasini, madam. Now I hand over to Bhomik, sir.
Thank
you. Can proceed the webinar, sir.
Thank you, Hitesh, sir, for handing over. Before starting, a good word of thanks from all of us here on behalf of IDP Education, especially to Professor C.N. Patel, sir, the principal, sir, and which is well coordinated by Prithviraj, sir, and Hitesh, sir, in terms of organizing this immense national webinar that we are going to initiate today. Definitely the purpose will be to help every individual who has joined, especially the students, probably who are knowing, and also those who would now know what are the important aspects, which are the important points that one should consider when they start planning for your broad dreams of education. Now, before I could share the screen, I would just, I hope students can hear me, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. So just a good word of thought I want to share with the panelists here and to the students. Everyone dreams, but there are only a few who put planned efforts, systematic efforts to fulfill their dreams into reality. Now, with this thought, we will start off the presentation and share the screen with you all. IDPNs, I hope the screen is visible.
Yes, it is visible.
Awesome. Thank you. So this is our webinar here. Although the members, the panelists have been introduced, I would move ahead with the agenda, which will be very straightforward today. What is the current update? Because as principals have also shared that there have been a lot of ups and downs and upheavals in the entire industrial platform throughout the globe. So how education industry has kept itself, always motivated and always up and running. We will share destination overview, which are the destinations, important destinations that IDP as an international education specialist help students. What are the services being offered by us, which are absolutely free of cost, no charges, no registration fee, nothing. How IDP is associated with IELTS, that is IELTS examination. And we have panelists here, the IDP's destination experts today, who will answer every question that the students or the fraternity would be, writing it in the chat room or would be directly speaking. COVID-19 impact. Yes, it has left us shattered. It has, to some, it acted as a boon also. We involved ourselves more with the family members, friends together. We learned new things. But then how the education industry revived, how the education industry, kept its pace with the aspirations of Indian students who wish to go abroad to study. The best thing is that the universities abroad, they have not stopped and they have extended their timelines, the deadlines especially so that the students can apply. So now it is absolutely in place. Anyone can start their application processes with the universities of their choice. They are offering and issuing offer letters to the students, whether it is conditional or unconditional. A lot of scholarships are being given to Indian students, even at this stage that we are in, so that students are motivated, and those who are sound and fall into the category of getting a scholarships, they have got ample opportunities to avail one. Online courses. Yes, our parents know that we are safe, their children are safe at home, but at the same time, nobody wants, neither the student nor the parents, not people, an academic fraternity wants that students should sit back at home without doing anything. They should rather take up the online courses, which is equally, the degree of which is equally valuable and accepted across the world after they finish their education. So this is the new thing which we all should imbibe, we all should accept for the benefit of the students. Yes, IDP is always been the co-owner and controlling authority of IELTS, that is International English Language Testing System. And the examination, either it is pen paper based or online, it is going on for the students. So students, those who are planning, can, get into the groove, get into the process of preparing yourselves. Further, these are few of the FAQs or common questions that a student or anyone probably who is looking out to go abroad might have in mind. Should I postpone my plans of studying abroad? I'm sure many people would be asking this question. Same, whether the English proficiency test is open in India. Yes, it is. Will 2020, 21 or 22 study start dates be postponed? There was postponement, but now everything is in place as per schedule. What do employers think about online degrees? Or they think very highly of such degrees, They give a lot of importance to online degrees because they know that students, various USPs, that is unique selling proposition, your good parts of your thinking abilities are put to test when it's online. You become more oriented towards your studies. So yes, it has got ample valuation worldwide. Next, probably the question would be, if I take up online courses, am I still eligible for a scholarship? Yes, my dear, you are always eligible for scholarships, provided your academic criteria and the points as laid down by the universities and colleges worldwide fall into your profile, suits your profile. Okay, going forward. So a brief introduction about whom you are talking to today, the experts and I. We are from IDP. Who is IDP? What is this organization about? IDP is a government represented organization, which is 50% owned by the Australian universities, and it's a publicly listed company on the Australian Securities Exchange. We are not a new organization. We are 50 years old, or more than 50 years now. 51st is running. We have been through and through into the education field. We have been guiding many number of years. Yeah, we have been helping students to fulfill their dream of choosing the right course in the right university at the right destination, so that what they aspire, what they look forward to in their career, they can realize their potentials through this. Now, one of the important factors what IDP offers to students across, which I'm sure no other would be capable of doing it, we are being a world organization, a world body, 700 plus top and leading universities. They are working with IDP, like our counselors, 1,000 plus expert destination counselors. Few of them, we are lucky that we have them today in our panel as specialists of their respective destinations. They help the students know what they desire, know and make them understand the value that international education can give them once they are interested for it. We are not pushy at all. We just want to let them know what are the things you should know to plan in within a proper time frame. That is very important, which is not done by any of the people across. IDP's IELTS is a big network, this examination. It spans to over more than 450 test locations in 60 different countries. That means the acceptability of the English proficiency test called IELTS, or it's popularly called IELTS, is a lot more. So which are the popular destinations for overseas education? 80% plus students from across South Asia, China, Russia, and all these parts, destinations, basically the entire Asian continent, they go to these popular destinations where IDP can place a student to settle their career. Australia, USA, UK, Canada, New Zealand, and Ireland. Quickly, we will run through few of the important points, why Indian students primarily choose these destinations. It is their choice. So what makes them choose? Starting with Australia. Australia is a big continent. The government of Australia is quite welcoming. They welcome international students to visit their country, stay there, study there, and work and gain experience. One of the important factors why Indian students are easily accepted in Australia is because of the easy adaptation of the Indian system of education, which is either 10 plus 2 plus 3 or 10 plus 2 plus 4 system of education. Apart from that, Australia has 39 top universities in the country. out of which there are 8 universities of 39 which fall into the world's top 150 universities. So based on your academic potentials and academic acceptability, you can get yourselves admitted to such universities. Okay. Now, all the destinations that we'll be talking about, they have got best of the best resources to support international students when it comes to studies. They have got best of the research facilities available, whether it is any of the countries that we'll be discussing. So these are the common points. Culturally diverse, yes, there are, because people from across the globe come together at one place in one classroom. So of course, different cultures, colorful world as it becomes. USA, United States of America, is one such destination which has world's maximum number of educational institutions based in the country, close to 5,000. But when it comes to the top ones, there are very few top ones where students can get themselves admitted. And the best thing about USA is that they believe not in the theoretical way of studies. No mugging up, rattofy nahi karna hai. They believe in the principle of solving the real problem at hand, going through the on-job features of learning and implementation. So which makes students aware about how you need to plan yourself when you face the real world. So this is one of the unique features of the USA institutions. Nowadays, other countries, top countries also are, imbibing, they are accepting such processes of formulation to help the students. In terms of career opportunities and work opportunities, of course, Fortune 500 companies are there based in USA. So pharmacy students have got a lot of potential in this country as well. Going forward, is the UK one of such destinations which is, we say, we have been knowing through our grandparents, etc., that the oldest institutions are based in the UK, United Kingdom. Yes, it is true. And few of them are world's top ranking universities. They support a lot to international students in terms of any course you choose, not alone pharmacy, any field. Even the pharmacy student, when they choose relevant related programs, they get a lot of opportunities to explore. By job, in terms of internships, everything, scholarships, anything that is attached to a student, it is one of the best countries to study and work. Canada, we all develop a kind of apnapan. We call it, yeah, this is one country where everyone, your family members, your friends have to be there, and they are there, believe me. So the number of people interested for Canada, students interested for Canada, increases hence because they feel the sense of, having their own community strength, right? So that is one of the motivating factors for them. But actually speaking, these few points which I'll be talking about are important why students choose Canada. Canada has two systems of education. One is the college system of education, offering diploma programs, which are highly skilled programs for students, and they get very ready jobs. The second is another university program, which is again accepted in all the fields, and students get ready jobs available based on the studies that they are doing and the efforts that they are placing themselves in. So it has got wide array of specialized courses for pharmacy students who can take up their own course of studies and work gradually. Next is New Zealand. In the last 3-4 years, New Zealand has become one of the popular destinations where Indian students have traveled and studied and have worked and started staying also. But what we don't know probably that there are only 8 universities in New Zealand, students, and you must know that they have got a strong policy, strong infrastructure to assess the quality of education. And hence the courses offered in New Zealand are no less than in any destination which are being offered. And therefore, New Zealand universities feature in the world's top 3% of education, world-class education. There are ample scholarships and good work opportunities in this country. And New Zealand is one of the countries which is full of flora and fauna. That means there is a lot of vegetation, floral country, as well as a lot of wildlife, birding, and good nature, picturesque country बोल सकते हैं. Last but not the least is Ireland. Ireland is completely a green country. It is very popularly called the Emerald of the Isle. Emerald is green in color. So since the country is green, that's how the name came up. It's a land of thinkers. Ireland is a land of thinkers. Ireland is one of the heavens for pharmacy students. Ireland has many big MNCs, multinational companies, stationed their headquarters in the country. And in terms of one of the important factors is the universities and institutions in Ireland form the top 1% of the research institutes in the world. All right. So you can imagine with this that a student of pharmacy, if they are there in Ireland, they get a lot of things to experiment with and come out with the flying colors. Going forward, the destination overview is complete. We will quickly see how a student can benefit through the services that is being provided for their aspirations when they want to go abroad. You know, IDP experts, they don't sit idle. They have got no holidays. I mean, of course, there are standard holidays, but to say that they are so inclined and they are so involved with one student, if I take, say, for example, if you are a student, they give their entire knowledge framework to make the student's portfolio become richer, so that the acceptability of the student when he or she is applying, they get proper admission without any hiccups, without any problems. So what are such IDP services? Yes, we go into the extreme detail till we help a student finalize the right course for him or her, right university, right destination. When all is done, our experts help a student go through the application submission process where the entire mark sheets, transcripts, SOP, LORs, CV, and other relevant documents are well placed and submitted so that they get the offer. Thereafter, they prepare for the visa. We help them know about the visa rules and guidelines. And finally, we also help the students along with their parents to know about the do's and don'ts before they travel to the new destination. All right. So this seems like just 4 or 5 points, but actually it takes good amount of time to plan and to implement. Gradually, we will know why. So to make the world easy for the students, our destination experts from IDP have identified top 7 steps what a student or their parents, especially students, should know if at all they are planning for going abroad to study. What are these 7 points? The 7 points are the 7 steps. The steps, the first baby step, we take baby steps to get matured. So through these steps, a student achieves maturity before they fly to aspire for their education. The first is choosing the right course, the program. You're a pharmacy student. There are so many different fields of study in pharmacy that you should discuss with the counselor expert and finalize your university of your choice. Next step, which is second, is the time when you, based on your counseling, you know what are the mandatory test requirements for different destinations. We have a separate slide to discuss. We will. When you are through with your scores, you go to the third step, which is the submission of the application form for the universities, foreign university. Here, along with all the important documents, you submit your applications online or offline, depending on the country's requirement. The next is when you wait at the fourth step, you wait for the receipt of the offer from the university or college. That means they will be giving you a conditional offer or an unconditional offer. Conditional offer is if suppose you have not given your mandatory test, and you are waiting for your results. So by the time the results come, you have already applied. So you are put on hold through the conditional offer letter, that you will be providing them the certificate, your mark sheets, and then you will get the final offer letter. Unconditional means you are completely ready and you have applied and have hence received the offer letter. When you are through with the fourth step, you go on to the fifth stage, wherein you prepare for apply for your visa. That is when the experts of IDP for the relevant destination help you know the do's and don'ts, help you know the proper guidelines for applying for visa, and you get an opportunity to lodge the visa at this sixth stage when you either appear for an interview. For example, USA still has a one-to-one round, physical rounds with the students aspiring to go to USA. Other destinations do not have so strict norms about one-to-one, but either just the submission or a Zoom or Skype call, anything might suit or might not require at all. When you are through with all the 6 stages, there are nothing in between which is left. The only last step towards finalization is the preparation to go abroad, where we conduct a very unique exercise with your students and parents, which I just discussed in the last slide, is pre-departure orientation. It is a unique process where we invite all the students for those destinations together along with the parents and your siblings, whosoever wish to come, to give you an idea ki boss, if your son or daughter is flying, you should feel safe. So we tell the students what to pack, what are the documents you need to carry. So it goes into such minute details that one should never miss, and it helps a student, and we feel safe, their parents feel safe, and we feel proud of such students. Now comes a slide which will actually involve students more. Across the world, admissions take into 3 different zones of months. They are called intakes. You all must have heard intakes. The main intake in the world is the fall intake, which is also called the primary intake. This is in the month of July, August, and September. This is when all the universities in all the 6 destinations that we discussed are open for admissions. The next intake is the spring intake. If you fail to apply, or if you could not apply in the primary intake, the next intake is the spring intake. In the spring intake, which is in the month of Jan and Feb, that is January and February of every year, there are still seats vacant for admissions. All right. Now, if you miss both this fall and spring intake, you go on to the summer intake, which is the last intake, which is either for few countries it is the month of November, or few countries it is in the month of April and May. In this summer intake, only few colleges or few educational institutions abroad are open for admissions, because primarily, if you see, majority of the seats are full in the spring and fall intake. So summer intake, only limited seats with very limited programs. So that is a last ditch attempt to get admission. So what we have to do, how we need to prepare, we need to follow only one tip, one international tip been given by IDP to all the students. Do not hesitate if you are wanting to. That means a recommended, expertly recommended preparation time between 3 to 10 months, 3 to 10 months in advance of the intake. That means before the intake. Suppose you are going for the fall intake, which is the July, August, and September wala intake. You have to prepare this intake. This is the intake. You have to prepare in advance. That means 3 to 10 months before. You have to prepare so that you can arrive right from shortlisting of the universities, till your offer gets accepted and you whoosh, fly. All right. If this slide is clear, it's very simple. We go on to a more technical slide, which will talk about work rights, post-study work opportunities as been given as a benefit to international students when they travel abroad for studies. We will go from right column towards left, okay, from right to left. The last column talks about part-time work available. Now you will say that, boss, abhi to borders are closed, so what to do with part-time? Yes, we cannot do anything with that. It is a world problem. But very soon, by the time you will be applying now, the borders are gradually, the decisions are being taken by different countries to open their borders subsequently, and gradually. So as a world rule that you should know, whenever you would be able to travel, the government of those countries allow international students to work 20 hours per week or 40 hours in 14 days, that is fortnightly. That is all you are allowed to work. But there are times which are summer breaks or your semester examination breaks. You get full time to work as a part-time worker. All right. Remember this. These are the guiding factors for you. The previous column is the post-study options available. Now, every country has a different dimension, different rules and regulations, and hence we have to respect their norms, their rules of those countries. So for international educations, when they take up the degree from these universities, they are allowed to stay in the country and work and gain experience. All right. So for example, we will go Australia downwards to Ireland. Okay. The extreme left column from Australia till bottom, this is Ireland. Australian government, Australia is a big continent. In this, there are territories. Australia is divided into territories. So if we consider all the territories together, and if I have to pass a general statement, based on your choice of the course that you are choosing from a particular college or a particular university in a particular territory in Australia, the government allows you to work between 1 year to 4 years. So now it is a generalized statement. Now, how a unique statement can be done against one student? If one student is interested for Australia, he or she needs to discuss his or her profile with the IDP's Australia expert to know what course and which territory and how many years he or she is allowed to work. Similarly, for Canada, it is up to 3 years, that is between 1 and 3 years. In UK, it is up to 2 years, either 1 year or 2 years. In USA, it is up to 3 years, especially if your course falls into the STEM category. If pharmacy is coined, if pharmacy is defined in the area of science field, it will be given, students will get 3 hours, up to 3 years, not hours, I'm sorry, up to 3 years of work rights in the USA. Coming down to New Zealand, up to 3 years, and Ireland up to 2 years. Now, this is as per today, right? There could be a possibility that if a government takes a decision, say after 5-10 years or tomorrow, that will be separately updated. But you should take it as a guideline, as a guide stick to follow. In terms of the cost of tuition fee or living cost, The cost is in front of you on the table. You can calculate it. You are intelligent. You are good with maths. I am not good with maths at all. Numbers, frown me and I'm scared. But how costs differ? These costs are just an approximation, just to give you an idea. It could be either lesser, it could be or it could be more. Depending on how it varies on few factors. Choice of course in a particular university, the geographical location of the university in a particular destination, and the destination itself. Apart from these major three, there are few personal factors that you can take into account, like where you want to stay, what kind of lifestyle you lead. So you can discuss all of these things with the different experts to know and calculate the exact, probably an exact figure related to your tuition fee and living expenses. That we will involve you when you will have a one-on-one with our experts, whenever you want. Going forward is another important slide, which many of us outside world fail to tell to students, which IDP readily and involving the students they wish to inform. Apart from the application and your mark sheets and your college transcripts, every candidate who is traveling abroad for your education need to appear for a test, which is called mandatory test requirements, as required by different destinations, different countries. There is one test which is absolutely necessary, which is called the English language test, or popularly called the English proficiency test. The proficiency test is required because you are bilingual. You are living in India, you speak Hindi, Gujarati. English is not your mother tongue, right? So when you are going to that country, the universities, probably the government ensures or wants to be confident that one student who is flying from India to study can follow the classes, because it will be taken up by the foreigners, basically. They will be taking the classes. So you should be able to understand and comprehend what is being taught in the class, so that your learning is faster. The pace of learning is quite good. So every institution in the world, whether it is topmost or it is top or it is leading university or college, in all the English speaking destinations, they accept one scientifically devised test, which is IELTS. One test serves all purpose. Few people who want to go to USA and have already started preparing for TOEFL or PT, they can also, their test scores are also accepted by universities, but mainly in the universities of USA and UK, the TOEFL. There is another test, which I said, Pearson's test, which is accepted mainly in Australia and New Zealand. Okay, but if you change your plan for any other destination, you have to waste your time preparing for IELTS, and then again, shell out the money to sit for the examination, etc., etc. So as experts, and since we are the only controlling body here in India now, I will say why, being the co-owner of IELTS, you should go with one examination which will suit your own destination purpose, that is IELTS. If I take up another examination, which is GMAT, which is only for those students who wish to take up management related courses like accountancy, economics, marketing, human resource, logistics, operations, etc., etc., which is in the field of commerce or management, they need to give the GMAT if they are considering the top universities in the US, UK, Australia, or New Zealand. But again, I would say it is not must. You have to know what the university requires. Many universities, might require just the GRE. But yes, if a pharmacy student wishes to go to US, they have to have GRE. But there are few top universities which might not require the GRE as well. But it is one of the factors that you need to consider. When you talk with the expert, you would be sure, or keep your questions ready so that our US expert can answer it appropriately after this presentation. Sir has requested, and we have talked about scholarships. Scholarship is not given to everyone. Frankly speaking, I was not a student who, in fact, I have spent a lot of time in various other activities, but my studies. So I am not fit for scholarships. Scholarships are given to students who are eligible to get, who have given their 100, 110, 20% in getting the right percentage, which fits in the academic criteria for getting the scholarship. So you have to know which educational institution offers student at 70%, 80%, 90% of your marks to be eligible or to be declared eligible for scholarships. So to get scholarships along with the proper score, the deadline of application is also important, because there's limited scholarships to be given to students who apply in lakhs and lakhs. So if there are 10 scholarships only to be given by the universities, so imagine across the world they have to just funnel down to 10 students. So the criteria is rough and tough. So you have to know by sitting with the IDP's expert how you can qualify. Okay, apart from that, yeah, timely, your relevant documentation and everything is also must. In the next slide, we will see some of the famous, world famous scholarships which are being easily given to such, students who demand them, who are fit for them. A few scholarships are mentioned, like Tata scholarships being offered by the Cornell University, Chevening UK government scholarship, Fulbright Nehru's Master's Scholarship Program for the Indian students, Erasmus Scholarship, Royal Society grants, Hubert and Humphrey scholarships, Mahatma Gandhi scholarship programs, NDTV Deakin scholarship programs by the Deakin University of Australia. You have got Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam scholarships offered by the University of Sydney. These are just a few. So get ready, be prepared to discuss your profile whenever you need one. Now, over the years, we have seen different pharmacy students take up different courses. Of course, there are many courses in thousands as being offered by different universities across the destinations. But these are few of the very popular ones we could just find out where students had taken up and gone. So, these are a combination of different countries, and these are the few popular courses on your screen. Just quickly go through them. And please don't consider that this is the end, कि बस इतने ही courses होते हैं. My dear friends and students, no, this is just based on popularity, on demand from the students, and how they easily take it up based on the market conditions, based on the availability of jobs. That's how the courses have been projected on screen today. Just give me a thumbs up or anything so that I can go to the next slide. All right. So I'm sure you have gone through it to get an idea. IDP's IELTS. IDP co-owns, as you can see, the statement just below our logo, proud co-owner of IELTS. Across the world, this IELTS, that is IELTS examination, is owned by 3 top organizations of the world. First, I beg your pardon. First is IDP, that is IDP Education Australia, or we can just say IDP. Second is British Council. Third is Cambridge. आपने इन तीनों का नाम सुना है. So we all three bodies own this IELTS as a product, as an examination. I will share one news after I discuss a bit about IELTS. IELTS is International English Language Testing System. It is, believe me, I'm not saying this because I'm from IDP. You can find it out yourself also, and many of you are aware about. It is world's most popular and most widely accepted, approved, designed, and given test across institutions. Okay, it opens both for studies as well as for people opportunities who wish to go abroad for their PR or work permit. So there are two tests basically. One is the academic test of IDP, another one is the general test of IDP, IELTS. So it tests your 4 skills, namely reading, writing, speaking, and listening. So how the bands are calculated? So as a student, you should know what? You should know that you will be evaluated, or your total score will be on 9 bands. It is not called a score, it's called, or it is termed as bands. So 9 bands, and you have to get, as a standard practice, 6.5 out of 9 to be eligible. A minimum of, minimum of 6.5 out of 9 to be eligible to get admission into the leading universities of the world, with no less than 6 in each of the modules. So what are those modules? Listening is one module, reading, writing, and speaking. So these 4 modules with no less than 6. So overall 6.5 out of 9 is a respectable score. Always remember. Okay. Now the best part, this score is valid for 2 years. So if you are planning immediately, and in case there is a change of plan, so you are sure that today my score is valid for next 2 years. So you can accordingly shift your plans, postpone and reschedule. All that's great. We have reached the end of the presentation so that we can open the actually which is important part of today's presentation, your interaction with our experts. But before that, on screen you can see IDP's virtual events. So what are these? I told you IDP is a world body. IDP, lot of famous and top and leading universities and institutions, they work with us, we work with them, and we conduct various educational events wherein we invite students from across to come and discuss with the foreign institutions about your profile. So this is one of such platform been given by IDP, and that too absolutely free. You don't have to worry about any monetary registration or kind of involvement. Nothing is monetary here. Everything is free of cost. So you just need to plan and you just need to interact. That's it. All we want is knowledge to be shared. So you can always be a party. Just let me know. Okay. Another benefit, another privilege, another support we are extending to you students across pan-India, I would say, because there are students pan-India has been informed. You get an opportunity to get in touch with such experts by being at your comfort of your home. That means as we are talking face to face, yeah, you will be talking to those experts and discuss your profile, and no need to take risk of coming out of or going out of your home and visiting our physically to our office. Although our office is open, you are most cordially invited. But if you feel okay, my parents are not willing to go, or I should not move out, I am inviting on behalf of all the members of IDP here. You can discuss this on screen also. All right. So details will be always be shared with Principal Saab, Prithviraj sir, and Hitesh sir. You can take the details from them, or I will share my contact number after this presentation. You can always contact me also for an appointment, free appointment. Okay. So that's the end of the presentation. I am opening the screen for FAQs, for questions and answers. All right. Thank you so much. I have got a last slide to share, which I will share after all the questions are answered. Thank you so much. So students, please ask your questions.
कोई question होए तो you can write in the chat box.
And we here speak Gujarati, Hindi and English. So please
Yeah.
do not hesitate, ask your questions. You can unmute yourself and ask questions, as well as you can write it down in the chat box. Any question related to course, related to options, related to any general specific thing that you want to know. Or even on students' behalf. Okay, we have. Yeah, thank you, Suhasini, for placing it. So I will remind students, okay, there is Supratim Paul. What is the opportunity in Canada and USA after Masters in Pharmacology? I would request the panelists to take it up, please, one by one.
Hi students, good evening. My name is Ezaz and I'm a senior Canada Counsellor. Well, the opportunities, if I talk about, the pharmaceutical sector is one of the most innovative industries in Canada. It is composed of companies developing and manufacturing innovative medicines and generic pharmaceuticals, as well as over-the-counter drug products. So, and pharmaceutical sales in Canada have a 2% share of the global market and making Canada the 10th largest world market. The industry is clustered mainly in the metropolitan areas of Toronto, Montreal, and Vancouver. So after studying your master's in pharmacology, you can definitely, if you go into the areas of Toronto, Montreal, and Vancouver, you can work as an authorized pharmacist in hospitals, treatment centers, or in healthcare stores. Also, you can work as a pharmacy professional or run your own individual pharmaceutical shop. Or because MSc in pharmacology is a thesis-based program, so you will directly be working with the faculties of that particular university, and you will do a lot of research in this particular field. I hope I have answered your question.
For USA.
Hi, this is Suhasini from the US destination. So as you're aware, all the pharmaceutical companies that are even set up in India have their headquarters in the United States, right? So the pharmaceutical industry, especially in the United States, is known for manufacturing new drug entities, new chemical entities, as well as they have a little bit of their generic market also. So you have a lot of opportunities in the US. You have companies like Eli Lilly, you have Pfizer, you have Novartis, you have a lot of varieties of companies. You can also go into the pharmaceutical sector as research or as a project manager. You can get into pharmacoeconomics, which is studying the economic of pharmaceutical companies and pharmaceutical products in the USA. You can get into pharmacoinsurance companies that deals with a lot of insurance that these companies set up for themselves. So your options are varied. Depending on the kind of major you choose, especially in your master's, what is the thesis or the research sector that you go into, or if you're planning to do something else after your master's, you could get into, you could combine it with a management degree and get into the managerial level at a pharmaceutical company or a research industry. You can get into a hospital in the healthcare sector and be part of their pharmacology team, right? So your options are a lot. It just depends on where you're studying from and what you choose to study. Based on that, you open up opportunities for yourself. I hope I've answered your question, and I will mute myself to now go on to the next.
Yeah, there is another one.
Thanks for the question. Well, Kishan is asking that I want to go to Canada for Masters in Pharmacy. So the PEBC exam is compulsory or not? Well, there are two types of master's program available in Canada. One is the Masters of Pharmacy, and the other is Masters of Science in Pharmaceutical Sciences. So if you want to get into a Masters of Pharmacy course, which is a professional course, a PEBC exam is compulsory. You need to pass that particular exam. You need to get the licensure, and then you can get into Masters in Pharmacy. But if you want to get into a Masters of Science into Pharmaceutical Sciences, so it is a thesis-based program, which is a research-based program. So the PEBC exam is not compulsory for that. Thank you. Yeah.
Mohit, there's a question for you in the question and answer section, which is how many know UK pharmaceutical industry and company?
How many? Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Yeah, I will repeat it. Read it for you. How many know UK pharmaceutical industry and company? Acha, I think what they want to project is how many pharmaceutical industries and companies are there in the UK.
So UK, there are many MNC companies there. There are research work as well as. So if you can aware about the AstraZeneca, right? Right now they are started over there. And there are many like Boost is a supermarket store in pharmaceutical. Boost, which is a UK largest store. Then there are many other in the community hospitality industries is now boosting in UK.
Sir, as a student working 20 hours in a week, can we pay our tuition fees by ourselves? Harsh has asked this question. Anyone would like
so
to
Harsh, that depends. That depends on the university or the state that you're going to in the United States. Sometimes students get minimum wages for, depending on the job that you get as an international student. If you've gotten a job as a research assistant or a teaching assistant or a graduate assistant, definitely you can pay, it will be, part of your tuition fees will be covered for that semester. But if you're working in a library or if you're working in the cafeteria on campus, your pay is minimum wages. So with that, you may not be able to completely cover your tuition fees. But then if you do work hard and if you can get a job as a TA or a RA, then definitely yes, you can cover part of your tuition fees. But to answer another part of this question, in USA, master's students get an opportunity to do internship, right? So if you can get your internship with a good pharmaceutical company in the United States, you get paid and you can work 40 hours legally in the United States for a period of 3 to 4 months. And depending on which pharmaceutical company or which research company you're going to work in, you can get paid anywhere between $35 to let's say $80 an hour, wherein you can make enough money to cover your tuition fees for one whole semester, which is 3 courses during that semester, right? And there's one more question I would like to answer for you for United States. What is the difference between thesis-based program and course-based program, right? So every program, most of the universities in United States will give you an opportunity to either do a thesis or do an internship, right? So if you do a thesis, your credit is that credit goes towards your completion of your master's degree, or you can do an internship, which again that credit from an internship goes towards the completion of your master's program. In thesis, you will be appointed an advisor from your department, and with your advisor you decide on a thesis that you want to do in, and at the end of the thesis you need to submit a research paper which would be anywhere from 20 to let's say 30 pages, where you have to do your own research and you will have to give your you'll have to present your bibliography also at the end of the research. So it is a research that you do. You could do it on any pharmaceutical ingredient, you could do it on delivering of delivering of the drug into the system, passing the liposome barrier or anything like that. You could do it about manufacturing, you could do it on the economics, you could do it on the generic drug market, the black market. You could choose a variety of topics depending on the master's program that you're going for, right? So this is for United States. And now I would ask Ezaz for Canada to take up both the questions for Canada destination, and then we will ask Ms. Shalvi to answer the same for Australia and Mohit for UK.
All right, thank you, Suhasini. Well, to answer the difference between a thesis-based program and course-based program. So a course-based program is somewhere like, wherein you are just going to the university, you are getting taught by the professors, you give the exam, and that's it. So it is more of a taught-based program, right? While a thesis-based program is somewhere wherein you are going to submit a research thesis, right? So you need to do a research under an approved faculty or supervisor of that particular university. So that is the main difference.
Shalvi, for Australia, can you
master shall a visa extend? Yes, definitely. So yeah, so if you want to pursue PhD after completing your masters, you will have to extend your study visa.
So Shalvi, there is a question.
Alright.
What is the difference?
So in the United States, the one time you get your student visa is valid for 5 years. So if you're going to do PhD within the same university, yes, your visa can be extended. If it's another university, sometimes depending on the international laws for students with United States, you might have to come back and reapply your visa, but that's not an issue. And I would like to call upon stage Ms. Shalvi now to answer all the questions. Shalvi, the questions are about working, whether if you work for 20 hours a week, can you pay your fees, and how is the PhD program work in Australia? Can you please take it up?
Yeah. So, first question, so students were working 20 hours in a week, can we pay our tuition fees by ourselves? See, Australia is the country where there is the highest payout. That is, the average payout is also $18 per hour for the students I'm talking about. So that is an average one. We have quite a few, many of our students are earning more than $25 also per hour, $30 also per hour. So it totally depends on the student to students. We have come across our students who have earned only their living expenses, and we have come across students who have earned where they can pay their tuition fees also along. So, but from here, committing that to the students, we never do as IDP. Reason is because you are working part-time there. For example, in first 2 months you are not getting a job or anything like that happens, at least your living expense will be covered. That is one thing which is for sure for Australia. But tuition fees, it totally depends on the student to student and the type of work you are getting, and the amount of dollars per hour you are getting. It totally depends on that. So it will be on case to case basis only. Is that clear, Harsh? And yes, if you pursue PhD after completing master, shall our visa extend? That is the question.
That is one of them. Yes.
Okay. Yes, it is. In Australia, many of our students do second masters also from there. After bachelor's, they start their masters also. So, IDP offices are there in Australia also. In 5 cities, IDP offices are there. Other than that, from here also, that is right now only I was sending one checklist to one of my student who is on Australia for the visa extension. So we are in contact with our students. If they wanted to go for second masters, they come to us only through phone call, through email, because everything is very easy now. Communication is very easy. So those who are onshore also, they don't have to come back here into India. They have to be there only, and we can apply for the visa extension or a different visa, that is for the second masters or PhD, anything. We can apply, we can help them for the visa extension. That is not an issue.
There is one question sent to me that in USA, if a student is applying right now, then documents should be submitted physically or virtual, or soft copy will be okay.
Thank you, sir, for the question. If you want to apply now, I would I want a little bit more clarity. If you want to apply for the fall intake, because I think now the fall intake is almost closed, because this is the time that students start going for their visa interviews as international students. So now I would expect that the student applied for the spring 22 intake. And if document submitting, do you mean with IDP or to the university, sir?
To the university.
Yeah. So everything is done online, sir. So what happens is that right now when the student is applying to a university, to a program, everything is done online. The application process is online. So we take scanned copies and do our application via scanned copies. And then the students can take his original documents when he or she is going to United States. So everything is done online on this.
When he or she will be there, then hard copy can be submitted.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah. There's one more question for US. How is growth of pharmaceutical industries in the US and Canada? Because most of US companies made pharmaceutical plants in India due to cheap labor cost here. So my second question is it possible to get job easily in the industry? Yeah, I would like to address this question. Most of the US companies do have their plants here, but a lot of research into the niche new chemical entities is being done in the United States, because despite the fact that labor is cheap in India, the kind of research work and the kind of resources that are available to pharmaceutical companies is more in the United States. So the companies do set up their labs here, but for manufacturing or could be for generic drug manufacturing, right? But the APIs and NCEs are made, are usually researched in the United States. So obviously the availability of job is huge because the number of pharmaceutical companies who have their headquarters in the USA is super high, right? There are many. And like I said, the positions available to a student of pharmacy is not only restricted to research. There are a number of positions available to you within a pharmaceutical company. It can within different departments, right? There's the medicinal chemistry department, there's the analytical department, there's a drug discovery department, then you have the manufacturing, the development and drug delivery department, you have the clinical research department. So your opportunities are huge in America, right? So there are a lot of opportunities, and I would like Ezaz to take it up for Canada now.
All right, thanks, Suhasini. To add to what Suhasini said, you can work as a clinical data manager, you can work as a clinical research associate, you can work as a drug safety specialist, you can also work in the lines of regulatory affairs manager, regulatory affairs specialist, pharmaceutical laboratory technician, because there are a lot of pharmaceutical companies and biotechnological companies in Canada as well. You can work in any of the mentioned positions that I said. So definitely there are enough job opportunities after you complete either your master's or a diploma program from Canada.
There is one question sent to me personally, that if any pharmacy student has done his or her master in from Canada, so can you help for the placement in industry or?
Mohit, there's a question for you. How many know UK company salary and any other company?
Suhasini, sir was actually Prithviraj sir was narrating one question.
Yeah, that was a question to sent to me personally, that if we have completed a master from the Canada in pharmacy, so can you help any student for placement in industry as a IDP?
No,
You means IDP.
no, sir. IDP is only responsible for getting a student visa, right? So we'll only help out students to secure a student visa. And also we'll help out with the accommodation part. And if any help is required with respect to anything, we can definitely help, but not for the jobs. So for the jobs, the universities will help the student.
Okay.
So just to add a little bit to what Ezaz said, I would like to let you know that in US or in any other country, which is Australia, UK or Canada, how the job works is they do not have job placements like we do in India. They have career fairs, and it is up to the student to attend these career fairs, to network and to find a job for themselves. So it helps that if the student, when he or she goes into the college, they start networking with their professors, with their seniors, with people who they are doing internship with, that networking helps. And then the universities hold career fairs where a lot of industries participate, and the student can go share their resume there, and it is up to the student. So the entire career, the job placement scenario changes 180 degrees in overseas, right, sir? So the student is treated as an adult, and it becomes the responsibility of the student to find a job for themselves.
Okay.
What is the eligibility criteria for clinical research in Canada? Ezaz.
Yes, you need to get an admit into a master's thesis-based program in order to do clinical research. So after finishing your MSc in any of the pharmaceutical sciences, you can, become a scientist, and you can do clinical research. So MSc in pharmaceutical sciences is the answer. You need to do a master's thesis-based program.
There is one question that can you list most three courses of USA and Canada for the pharmacists, like number 1, number 2, and number 3, by which they can get a better placement and everything.
All right. So different types of courses available in Canada. I'll start with biotechnology, where a a career in biotechnology usually holds many opportunities where you can make an impact in government, in industry, in education and medical facilities. There is also a growing demand for skilled technicians, lab technologists and research assistants. So you could work in life sciences, agriculture, food production, pharmaceuticals and sanitization, or health research. And you also can find opportunities in regulation and enforcement, quality control and sales. You can also take a course called pharmacy technician, which is a 2-year diploma, wherein you can develop knowledge, skills and abilities in key competency areas of legal and ethical responsibilities, professionalism, patient care, product preparation, health promotion, then knowledge application, and intra and interprofessionalism and safety, right? Pharmacy students can also get into a course called food science technology. This is usually it will integrate and apply the knowledge within the disciplines of microbiology, chemistry, engineering, biology, nutrition, to preserve and process and package and distribute foods that are healthy, affordable and desirable and very safe to eat. And there are many pharmacy students that I've seen that they also take up a postgraduate diploma course in regulatory affairs, right? And this will prepare you for a career involving in drug or medical regulations and quality assurance functions and roles. A majority of the students usually take, after completing the Bachelor's of Pharmacy, which is called Healthcare Administration, which is again a 1-year or a 2-year PG diploma course, wherein this particular course will provide students in the healthcare setting with respect to business and leadership fundamentals. And quality control and assurance is one course that you can take, which will incorporate theoretical knowledge in quality assurance and food safety. And there's also a 2-year diploma in chemical lab technician, wherein you'll benefit from practical training and learn the essential principles and techniques used in the biochemical sciences. So those are all the programs that I mentioned are being done in colleges at the level of diploma or a postgraduate diploma, which 90% of the students after finishing BPharm would take, right? Or else if you are a very research oriented person, then you can take, as I said, you can take MSc in pharmaceutical sciences, nutraceuticals, toxicology, pharmacology, or you can even take a master's in healthcare administration or public health. So these are all the program options available for you. So the Masters of Science in Pharmaceutical Sciences are, as I said earlier, it is research-based programs. So you need to take a prior approval from a supervisor or faculty of that particular university. And if his or her interest and experience matches with yours, then he might consider you for admission. And also the admission is very competitive in the master's level, since 90% of them are thesis-based and the seats are very limited. Thank you.
All right. So to take up that question for United States, the way I would advise each and every student is that let's not go from it from a perspective of what pays you more. The way you look at it is from where your interest lies. Because if your interest lies in a particular field within the pharmaceutical industry, you are going to be able to work much better and the way you earn would be equal to that, right? So I would advise you to look at it from this term. But like I said, the courses that were mentioned by Mr. Ezaz are the same available courses are available even in the United States. But depending on the university you work from, how hard you work and what is your GPA when you graduate and how well your network is what your salary is going to be based on, right? So you need to study the subject in which you are going to excel so that the kind of jobs you find later on are going to be much better. But like if you still want to know, right, Masters of Pharmacoeconomics, studying the economics of pharmaceutical masters, studying the economics of pharmaceutical companies is something that is really looked upon in the US, because that subject takes you makes you understand the economics of pharmaceutical companies around the globe, right? How it works, how the drug is, how the value of a medicine is made and things like that. You could look at drug development and delivery. You can look at drug discovery, because these are fields wherein you can do a lot of research and you can climb higher up in the industry. And when it goes to doing MS in pharmacology for clinical research, you can directly get into a master's in clinical research in the United States. You don't need to do MS pharmacology. You could also do that. You could also get into drug regulatory affairs. You can even study medical ethics to get into clinical research. But if you're interested in disease and molecular biology, You could study biochemistry, you could get into biotechnology, you could directly do a master's in cellular and molecular biology, you could do a master's in molecular genetics or molecular biology. So your options are endless. So how we would guide you at IDP is we would want you to come meet us on a one-on-one session, and we understand your interest and where do you see yourself working in the future. And based on that, we can guide you with the right subject, and we would guide you towards your dream or towards your future. Mohit, do you want to take up this question for UK?
Yeah, sure.
UK and Ireland.
Okay. So in UK, the most popular course is MSc Pharmaceutical Science. Then second is a Pharmaceutical Analytics. Then third is a MSc in Drugs and Discover. So these are the three most popular courses in UK. So UK offering only master's courses, masters by research courses. UK are not offering like postgraduate diploma courses or diploma courses. UK has offering 1-year master's program in specialization, and also a student can apply for the masters by research. That is also 1 year. The requirement is like a research proposal by under the faculty, and you need to submit the university. If the School of Pharmacy accept your proposal, then you can proceed for the further masters by research process. Then how many UK company salary and other country? Okay, so if you done graduate, then your fresher salary from 25,000 to 35,000 per annum. And if you're experienced 2 to 3 years, your salary will start 45,000 to 60,000 per annum.
Okay, just to take in terms of Australia, the courses in pharmacy, there are actually, frankly, not much that the Australian universities offer, but a student who wishes to go to Australia can take up anything which is related to public health or health management. And apart from that, there are few universities which offer masters in pharmaceutical sciences. So this is broadly, these are the popular courses which a student, when they go to Australia, take up. Anything that Ms. Shalvi would like to talk about for Australia?
So for Australia, there is a registration for our pharmaceutical students. So there are universities, there are 3 universities where you can go for Masters of Pharmacy directly without the registration of Australia exams, of any registration exams of Australia, that is APRA. And from those universities, when you complete the Masters of Pharmacy, you are a registered pharmacist of Australia. But in those universities, yes, the IELTS requirement for the admission is also 7 bands. And specifically the academic requirement is also slightly higher. That is 65-70% and above. Other than that, our students go from Masters of Nursing and Bachelor of Nursing graduate entry course also. Reason is because what we have observed is nursing students are getting more opportunities as per the you can say the opportunities related to the permanent residency also, and the job opportunities also. So we have got many visas for our students who have done pharmacy in India, and then they have gone for Bachelor of Pharmacy graduate entry. That is for international bachelor students only. Other than that, students opt for public health or health management. Those were non-clinical courses. Now, those non-clinical courses students later on can, when they are in Australia, can opt for the registration. That is different from Master of Pharmacy students, because Master of Pharmacy students don't have to opt for any registration exams, while these students can simultaneously go for registration exams and specifically get a registration for pharmacy. Other than that, there is an option, just like Suhasini mentioned, there is a biotechnology option, molecular biology and everything option, where students can later on opt for the you can say PhD or Masters by Research course. There is a course in Australia which is Masters by Coursework, which is of 2 years only, but the whole 1.5, I can say 18 months are coursework and 3 months are thesis. While in Masters by Research, 1 full year you do the research part and 1 full year coursework. So in that, you can learn more about the research and then you can go ahead with the PhD. So that is also one of the possibilities.
Awesome. There are a few other questions. For Canada, you need to have, okay, no, Ezaz, you have written, okay, fine. Suhasini and this thing is. Any more questions, students, sir?
Sir, mic off से दबाओ.
If masters in clinical pharmacology, clinical or pharmacology is done from the USA, then there is a chances of H1B or candidate has to do a PhD.
Sir, like I mentioned before, H1B is not based on the subject that you study, right? So students, like I said, you should study the subject where you can excel in. Your H1B is not at all dependent on a skill set that is required in the United States. United States works very differently. H1B is sponsored by the company in which you are working or you've done your internship, right? If the company sponsors your H1B, you get your H1B. So H1B is not dependent on the skill set or which course is more, which subject is more needed in the United States. Secondly, if you feel like you want to do research, you can get into research and do your PhD. And after that, your postdoc. And then again, wherever you're working, the company has to sponsor your H1B. That's how it works in the United States. So let me just, Saikat had explained this in one of his slides. Let me just explain to you a little bit more. Once you complete your master's, if your program comes under the STEM category, you get 3 years of full-time work in the USA under OPT. If your subject is not under the STEM category, your OPT period is for 1 year, wherein you can legally work in the United States. After that, the company for which you're working has to sponsor your H1B, which is for 3 years. And after that, the company has to keep extending your H1B or file even for your green card. This is the process in USA. So it is very different from how it works in Canada or in Australia. So it's completely dependent on the company where you're working for them to sponsor your H1B. If you feel like you have a knack for research, I would say that after your master's, please go ahead for your PhD as well for your postdoc. After that, you can either get into academia, teach a subject or do research in a university, or you can go into the industry and work in the industry. Either ways, if you're going into academia to work, the university will sponsor your H1B. If you go into the industry, the company will sponsor your H1B. All right. So universities or master's, okay, that's it. Can be 10 plus. So there is a question, can be. Okay, Ezaz has answered that question. Yeah.
I think now there is no any question.
So any other questions, students, if you are hearing us? Even Prithviraj sir has asked you, if you have any question, please go ahead. So basically, yeah, please go ahead, sir.
Yeah, now there is, I think, no any question.
Okay, so I will just share last slide. So we were here. I must, there is one, I think, chat. Okay. Thanks, Suhasini, for writing it down here so that if there are still any questions, students, our experts will be happy to answer it. There is no shortage of time with us. We are here for you only. So let us know on chat, or you can unmute yourself and ask the question. I'll wait for a while here. Okay. Ms. Shalvi is sharing a few links in the chat related to Australia, which is to the Pharmacy Board of Australia, Government of Australia. You can go through it. You can check out the details, what Australia has to offer in this link, and for more information, which will be quite valuable for all the students here. You can save the chat, you can copy the link and save it for yourself or bookmark it. So I guess students have a pretty idea about what we discussed and how it works, how overseas education works. And believe me, one thing before we end the presentation, we would only like to say one thing: believe in yourselves, khud pe vishwas rakho, because you are the supreme. As Sir started with the Gita shloka, I would like to narrate one. Nainam chindanti shastrani, nainam dahati pavaka, na chainam kledyantapo, na shoshati marutah. It means you cannot be destroyed unless you yourself want it to be done. So believe in the supreme, be or become the supreme. So only when you have the confidence in yourself, you are safe and you are good to take decisions for yourself. Okay. So from across the team, on behalf of IDP and Sarvajanik SS Pharmacy College and the Gujarat State Pharmacy Council, thank you all students for being with us through and through during this presentation. Hope the points that our experts and I discussed will mean to you whenever you plan yourselves, and you can be in touch with sirs, college professor Prithviraj sir and Hitesh sir, and Patel sir, of course, principal sir. They have our number, my number. This is official number of mine, wherein you can either call or you can WhatsApp me if you wish to talk to one by one with any of our experts for any destination, for guidance, for counseling, for your profile assessment. I'm saying we are ready to help you if you so desire, anytime, any given day, right? So that's it. I hope, again, we thank CN Patel sir, Prithviraj sir and Hitesh sir for extending this opportunity on this national platform. And I'm sure that you have gone live also in the Facebook, and that is going to help another set of more and more students who must have got to hear Principal Sir, Hitesh Sir and Prithviraj Sir and our experts, definitely. And with this, we take your leave, and with the note that be safe and sound and keep prospering in the path that you are in. It will really reap rewards for you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm stopping the slide to hear from Principal Sir and Prithviraj Sir.
Yes.
Thank you, everybody, and good luck for your studies.
At last, I would like to thank you, SSPC and Dr. CN Patel, sir, for allowing the platform to conduct such a good webinar. I also thanks GSPC for providing us a Zoom platform. I thank especially IDP for webinar and sharing very useful information with students. I thanks all attendees of the webinar, and at last I thanks Praful Bhai for all their technical support. Thank you very much, sir. And
sir, attendance no કહી દેજો. Sir, attendance નું
Thank you everyone.
અહીંયા આપણે એક લિંક મેલ કરી છે ને પ્રફુલભાઈ?
બધાને મેલ કરી છે. 15 મિનિટનો ફક્ત ટાઈમ આપવામાં આવશે એટલે આપણને શું એટેન્ડન્સ એ ભરાઈ જાય.
ઓકે.
તો સર્ટિફિકેટ મળી જશે એમને.
All participants who are there on their email, Praful Bhai has shared the attendance link. So you have to fill it up and send back. I think you have to fill it up, by which you can get the e-certificate. Okay. Without your attendance sheet, you will not get the e-certificate. And it will remain for 15 minutes only. Then you cannot give your presence.
Thank you, sir, for the time. And I must thank IDP's experts for taking time out, especially for SS Pharmacy students and the students who have joined from across the states on this fruitful day of this webinar with IDP and IDP's experts. And one more thing, just that we mentioned about virtual IDP's virtual fairs, we can, for your students exclusively, we can also guide them. We can have a master class of IELTS specific so that they know how to prepare for the examination whenever you can arrange one session later on, whenever you want.
Definitely.
So we can guide them as to how they should do the preparations, because we cannot coach the students being the controlling authority. So we can guide the students with certain points which will help them to prepare. So that's one thing.
Definitely, we will be in contact and we'll do such things in future also.
Definitely, sir. Anytime, any given.
Okay.
Thank you, Professor C.N. Patel, sir, Praful, sir, and Prithviraj, sir, Intesh, sir. And have a good day. Thank you from all of us. And I will talk to you, Prithviraj, sir, separately.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone. Good day. Thank you.
Thank you.